Welcome everybody to Matt's Picks. Now, I bet you a lot of you are wondering because most of you guys are new. There's only a couple of guys that were back here in May that are still here. But for those of you that don't know, Matt's Picks, it was a weekly thing I used to do a couple months ago. I stopped doing it and where I would pick the winners of matches. I was the first person to do this, ladies and gentlemen. You can go back all the way back, and I was the first person to do this. So don't let Undertaker tell you he was the first person, because I was the first person to do this. The only reason it died was because I didn't have enough time to do it. I had to do all my matches, I had to do all my promos, but now that I'm retired, I have more time to do shit like this. So let's get into Matt's Picks. Now, for one thing, a lot of the people that are going to be here on Matt's Picks are retired, not retired, are brand new, and or haven't had many matches, so I won't have be able to go into a lot of descriptions about this. So we're going to start from the bottom of the card. The bottom of the card has Natalya Neidhart versus Maryse. Now, this will be, I believe, Maryse's second match since her return. Natalya is the #1 contender for the Divas title. Now, in my personal opinion, I believe I've faced Maryse before, and she's a real good player. I've yet to face Natalya as Natalya, but seeing as Natalya is the #1 contender for the Divas Championship, I am going to give this one to Natalya. Next, we have Michelle McCool versus Naomi. Now, Naomi successfully won her match last week to become the #1 contender for the Divas Championship. She's the other one. And now we have Michelle McCool, who's looking to knock Naomi off her pedestal. Now, this is not Michelle McCool. I believe this is not Michelle McCool's first match. I haven't been updated with the Divas division. But knowing the two people that play these two, this is going to be one hell of a match. But I'm going to have to give it to Naomi, as she's the more experienced diva here, and so on and so forth. Next, we have a Divas Tag Team match. Melina and Jillian versus Lacey and Gail Kim. Now, I didn't even know we had a Jillian Hall. But, honestly, this is a real weird combination. Personally, I would have loved to see Melina and Gail Kim as their two fantastic wrestlers versus Lacey and Jillian, another fantastic wrestler, and then Lacey. Not the players themselves, but the wrestlers themselves. Nothing I can really say about this. I'm going to give the match to Melina and Jillian, as Melina and Jillian are just Melina and Jillian, okay? Bret Hart and Jimmy Snuka, this is the debut of both of them. I believe this is the debut of both Bret Hart and Jimmy Snuka, but I know who both the players are. Knowing Bret Hart's past, I'm going to give this to Jimmy Snuka, as Jimmy Snuka is a far better player than Bret Hart will ever be. R-Truth versus Justin Gabriel. This is Justin Gabriel's debut tonight, so I really can't throw him but he does have the wild card. But I am going to give it to R-Truth, as R-Truth is I have seen R-Truth's matches, and I do believe he is a okay to good player, so I'm going to give it to R-Truth. The Miz versus the Brian Kendrick. Now, from what I've been informed, The Miz is actually Vice. But that's just what I've been informed. This match, knowing that this match is going to happen on 2010, as the Brian Kendrick does not have the game yet, does not have 2011 yet, I'm going to give this one to the Brian Kendrick, as I remember correctly that the Brian Kendrick was pretty good on 2010, while Vice was on 2010. If it is Vice, I don't know that correct. Vladimir Kozlov versus Eugene, both of them are debuting, so I'm going to go with Vladimir Kozlov, because he's going to kill Eugene. Kane versus Kofi Kingston. This is Kofi. Kofi Kingston, I believe, lost his match last week. I don't know for sure, but Kofi Kingston and Kane. This is Kane's return, and Kane is got a lot of momentum going in with his return, so I'm going to give it to him. Sting versus Alberto Del Rio. It's both these guys' debut, but Alberto Del Rio is awesome with the armbar, so we're going to give it to him. Macho Man Randy Savage versus The Big Show. Savage jobs to Big Show. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to give this to Macho Man because really, The Big Show's new. And like I said, Macho Man's got the home field advantage now because he's been here for a while. So we're going to go Macho Man, Rey Mysterio versus Sheamus. I'm going to go with Sheamus because Sheamus is the much bigger dude here. I'm not going to say he's the much more experienced player because I haven't really seen a lot of Sheamus. But Sheamus is definitely the more, the bigger person, and he definitely is going to shine through. He's got to keep Rey on the ground, so good luck to you guys, but I'm going with Sheamus. The All-American Toto Americano versus Kurt Angle. Now, Toto Americano, we all know what he's famous for, right? So I'm going to have to give it to Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle is a really good player. He's been on a roll lately. He's hardcore champ, And if he can get around that special ability Jack Swagger has, then he will definitely be able to beat Jack Swagger, as he is a walk in the park. Luke Gallows versus Chris Jericho. Okay. We're going with Chris Jericho here. We're just plain simple. I don't even need to say anything. We're just going to go with Chris Jericho. Team Weed, Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy versus the Kings of Wrestling, Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. No, I can't pronounce the name. Team Weed just formed here in Seoul. I mean, they've been going on forever in Hogan versus Flair, but this is their first teaming here in Seoul. But I'm going to give it to the Kings of Wrestling, as they seem like they're more experienced here in the tag team division. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Next match. Batista versus Randy Orton, two former Ground and Pound members. Batista has dropped off his pedestal lately, and Randy Orton is the #1 contender for the IC title. But you cannot doubt Batista, even though, you know, Batista is Batista. I love you, buddy. But I'm going to go for Randy Orton. As facing Batista in the past, I know how he plays, and it's really easy to work around him. But I have not yet to face him on 2011, so I'm not going to say anything. This is anybody goes, but I'm going to go with Randy Orton, as he's the #1 contender for the IC Championship. Fuck. Give me a second. I don't want you guys to hear that. Ding. Ding. Next, we have Christopher Daniels versus Triple H and Champion versus Champion match. Again, Christopher Daniels is going to have to work around that special ability Triple H has. But I'm going to give this match to Christopher Daniels, as he's the better player, the overall better player, and like I mean, I've never faced Triple H in this form, but if he's just like Swagger, then he'll be a walk in the park for Christopher Daniels, as long as he can get around that special ability. Dave Richards versus Christian in an Elimination Chamber qualifier match. Now, the people who play Davey Richards and Christian have a lot of past. Davey Richards originally was the first ever was R-Truth in this league, and he was the first ever television champion. Christian came in and took that title from Davey Richards when he was R-Truth, and ever since then, Davey and R-Truth, whenever they have met, it has always been for a title most of the time, and Christian has always come on top. Davey has yet to beat Christian, and I'm going to give it to Davey, because honestly, I think Davey could pull out the victory here. I mean, I'm not saying anything against Christian, but, you know, I feel like this is the first time they're meeting as Davey and Christian. I think Davey will pull out the win. Edge versus Shawn Michaels. We're going to go with Shawn Michaels, because Edge talks a lot of big game lately, and honestly, big game gets you nowhere. I should know that. But honestly, I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels on this one, because Shawn Michaels is going to super kick Edge. Edge is going to be like, oh, bro, not cool. And then HBK will be in the chamber. So, yay, recording the chamber. CM Punk versus Anderson. We're going to go with CM Punk. Anderson has been on a downfall streak lately. He lost his world title match. He lost his, or I don't even think the European title match even happened. I mean, with the forming of the Stoned Asshole Society, that was a bonus, but otherwise, he's been going nowhere lately, so I'm going to go with CM Punk. And the last match, John Cena versus Evan Bourne. These guys compete a lot in house show matches. I know they're both really good players, but in my personal opinion, this is going to be a back and forth, but I'm going to go with John Cena due to the sheer strength of the character and the sheer goodness of the player. So, yeah, that's Matt's Picks. Matt's Picks is finally back. I hope to do this weekly. And other than that, this is Hell's Only Child, representing Matt Hardy from Seoul, signing out.